Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something powerful today. I wish everybody was rich and famous so they knew this one truth. Because see, most people think money is the cure. They think fame is the answer. They think once you hit the big stage, once your bank account is full, once your name is in everybody's mouth, that's when life begins. But let me warn you, the spotlight is not the sunlight. It doesn't always warm you. It can burn you. I've seen people chase wealth like it's oxygen. I've seen folks sell their soul for applause. And when they finally got it, when they finally held it in their hands, you know what they found out. That all the money, all the fame, all the glitter in the world doesn't guarantee you peace. It doesn't guarantee you joy. It doesn't guarantee you purpose. That's why I say it. I wish everybody could get rich and famous, just so they would learn the lesson that took me years to understand. Life is not about what you have, it's about who you are. Money magnifies who you already are. Money is not a magician. It doesn't turn a bitter person into a kind one. It doesn't turn a selfish person into a giver. It doesn't turn an insecure soul into someone who suddenly feels whole. What money does is magnify what's already inside of you. If you're generous before money, you'll be generous after money. If you're greedy before wealth, you'll only become greedier when you finally get it. Money is a mirror. It shows the world the truth about your character. Some people think if they had millions, they'd suddenly be disciplined. No, you wouldn't. If you can't manage $100, you won't be able to manage $1 million. The same habits follow you at every level of your bank account. That's why so many lottery winners go broke. It wasn't the money that failed them. It was the lack of discipline, vision, and wisdom that was already there before the money came. Money doesn't fix your insecurities. It just gives you a louder stage to show them off. If you're arrogant, money will make you more arrogant. If you're humble, money will make your humility shine brighter. Don't ever believe that wealth will heal a broken relationship. If love and respect aren't there when you're broke, they won't magically appear when you're rich. Money can buy you a house, but it can't buy you a home. It can buy you a wedding, but it can't buy you a marriage. It can buy you attention, but it can't buy you respect. People often pray for more money, but the truth is you need to pray for more wisdom. Because wisdom will teach you how to handle whatever blessings come your way. If you chase money without building yourself, you will destroy yourself when money finally arrives. That's why you have to work harder on your character than your paycheck. Some of the most dangerous people you'll ever meet are people who got money before they got maturity. Because power in the hands of the unprepared doesn't build it, destroys. That's why you see some wealthy people treat others with such coldness. They didn't become cold because of money. They were cold before. Money just gave them the ability to do it on a bigger scale, but the opposite is true too. Money in the hands of a kind person multiplies kindness. Money in the hands of a giver multiplies blessings. Never forget, money is a tool. It is not the master. It can build, it can break, it can bless, it can curse. The difference is always in the person holding it. If you're small-minded, money won't expand you, it'll expose you. But if you're big-hearted, money will stretch your impact across the world. Don't ever let your value be measured in currency. Let it be measured in character. Because when the money fades, and it always does, what's left is the real you. Fame will not heal your broken places. Fame is a spotlight. And here's the truth about a spotlight. It doesn't fix cracks, it exposes them. If you are broken inside, fame doesn't heal you. Fame puts your brokenness on display. That's why so many famous people still suffer from depression, addiction, and loneliness. People think if they were known, they would be loved. But fame doesn't guarantee love. Fame guarantees visibility. There's a difference. When the cameras turn off, when the lights go down, and when the crowd goes home, you're still left with yourself. And if you haven't dealt with your pain, it will whisper to you louder than any applause. Fame can give you 1,000 followers, but it cannot give you one true friend. It can fill a stadium, but it can't fill your soul. Too many people confuse being admired with being valued. Just because the world recognizes your name doesn't mean the world understands your worth. Brokenness requires healing, not attention. You can have millions of people calling your name and still feel like nobody knows who you truly are. Fame can't hug you when you're crying. Fame can't pray for you when you're hurting. Fame can't sit with you in silence when your soul is tired. If you're chasing fame to fix your insecurities, you're chasing a mirage. The applause will feel good for a moment, but when it dies down, the emptiness will echo louder than before. That's why some of the most famous people in the world are the most unhappy. They thought the world's attention would fill the cracks in their heart, but it only widened them. You can't cover pain with popularity. You can't fix loneliness with likes. You can't cure heartbreak with headlines. Real healing comes from within, not from the crowd. It comes from addressing your wounds, not hiding them behind fame. If you're whole, fame won't break you. If you're broken, fame will only break you faster. Never confuse being seen with being healed. Never confuse being followed with being loved. Fame is loud, but healing is quiet. And until you choose the quiet work of healing, no amount of applause will silence the ache inside. Peace is more expensive than a mansion you can buy the biggest house on the hill. But if you don't have peace inside, it will feel like a prison. Peace is more expensive than a mansion, because no material possession can buy it. People spend years chasing wealth, only to discover they traded peace for stress. They bought the dream house, but can't sleep in it. They drive the luxury car, but their mind never rests. Peace doesn't come with granite countertops and marble floors. It comes with forgiveness, contentment, and knowing who you are without needing validation. Some of the richest people in the world would trade every dollar they have for a single night of real rest. That's how valuable peace is. You think people envy the size of your home, but the truth is people envy the size of your smile, the calmness of your spirit, the way you walk through storms without being shaken. A mansion might give you space, but peace gives you freedom, and freedom is worth more than square footage. People think peace is a luxury, but it's not. Peace is a necessity. Without it, you will never enjoy the very things you worked for. Peace is found in silence, in prayer, in gratitude. It's not found in chaos, arguments, or keeping up with the world's expectations. When you don't have peace, every blessing feels like a burden. But when you do have peace, even the smallest blessings feel like treasures. That's why you can see someone living in a small house but walking around with a glow, while another person lives in a mansion but looks empty in the eyes. Peace makes you rich in a way money never could. It gives you joy in moments that money could never buy. Some people buy mansions because they think the view outside their window will calm them down. But true peace is not in the view, it's in the heart. You can live in the most beautiful neighborhood, but if your heart is in turmoil, you'll still feel trapped. Peace doesn't cost a thing to get, but it costs everything if you lose it. Protect your peace like it's gold, because in truth, it's worth far more than gold. Your character is worth more than your bank account. Money can open doors, but character keeps them open. Money can introduce you to people, but character is what makes them stay. A healthy bank account might buy you respect in the short term, but true respect only comes from how you treat people when you don't need anything from them. Your character is the one thing no one can take away from you, unless you give it away yourself. That's why it's more valuable than money. Money might impress people, but character inspires people, and inspiration lasts longer than any luxury car. When your character is solid, you can walk through any room with confidence. whether you have $1 in your pocket or $1 million in your account. People will forget what you bought them, but they'll never forget how you treated them. A bank account can go up and down, but character should always remain steady. Some people lose themselves chasing money. They compromise their values, hurt others, and in the process, bankrupt their soul. That's why some rich people die surrounded by things, but not surrounded by love, because character was never part of the wealth they built. Character outlasts currency. When inflation hits, when the economy shifts, when markets crash, your character will still be standing. If you build your life only on money, when the money fades, so will your identity. But if you build it on character, you'll always be rich in integrity. A bad reputation will follow you further than an empty wallet. But a good character will carry you into rooms money could never buy you access to. True wealth is when people speak well of your name, not your possessions. A fat bank account might make people look, but strong character makes people respect. Never trade your integrity for income, because once integrity is gone, no amount of money can buy it back. Happiness doesn't come from applause. The sound of applause feels good, but it fades quickly. Happiness doesn't come from applause, because once the clapping stops, you're left with silence. Too many people live for approval. They measure their worth by how many people cheer for them. But when you live for applause, you'll always need the crowd to validate you. The danger of applause is that it tricks you into thinking other people's voices matter more than your own. Happiness comes when you can clap for yourself even if nobody else is in the room. Chasing applause is exhausting, because no matter how loud it is today, tomorrow you'll need it again and louder than before. People are fickle. The same crowd that cheers for you today can boo you tomorrow. If your happiness is tied to their voices, your emotions will rise and fall like the tide. True happiness comes from within, from knowing your purpose, your value, and your worth without needing anyone to co-sign it. Applause can make you popular, but it can't make you fulfilled. Some of the most famous people in the world admit that applause was empty. They got standing ovations, but they still cried alone at night. You don't need a crowd to celebrate yourself. Learn to look in the mirror and clap for the progress you've made. The happiest people are not the loudest celebrated. They're the ones content with who they are in private. Applause feels good in the moment, but purpose feels good for a lifetime. Don't let your identity be tied to performance. You are more than what people see on the stage. The loudest applause you should ever chase is the applause from within, the peace that says, "I did my best, and that's enough." If you don't find happiness in the quiet, you'll never find it in the noise. Without purpose, success feels empty. Success without purpose is like a fancy car with no engine. It looks good, but it won't take you anywhere meaningful. Too many people climb the ladder of success, only to realize the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. Purpose gives meaning to success. Without it, you'll achieve things and still feel like something's missing. You can earn all the trophies, all the money, all the recognition, but if you don't know why you're doing it, it will feel hollow. Purpose fills your success with joy. It's the difference between working for a paycheck and working for a calling. Some of the most accomplished people in the world still feel empty because they never connected their success to something deeper than themselves. Purpose is not about what you get, it's about what you give. It's about how your life impacts others. Success can impress people, but purpose blesses people. When you have purpose, even small achievements feel significant. When you don't have purpose, even great achievements feel meaningless. Purpose-driven success doesn't just build a career, it builds a legacy. Without purpose, success becomes a cycle of what's next. And is this all there is? But when purpose drives you, you don't just chase success, you live significance. Purpose keeps you grounded when success tempts to inflate your ego. Success might put your name in lights, but purpose puts your name in people's hearts. Don't just seek to be successful, seek to be purposeful. Because success fades, but purpose lives on. Gratitude turns what you have into enough. Gratitude is the great equalizer. It turns a little into a lot, and a lot into peace. Without gratitude, nothing will ever be enough. You'll always want more, always chase more, always feel empty. Gratitude is not about ignoring your goals. It's about appreciating the journey while you pursue them. A grateful person can sit in a small apartment and feel richer than someone living in a palace. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. When you practice gratitude, jealousy loses its power. You stop comparing your blessings to someone else's and start cherishing your own. Gratitude doesn't mean settling. It means celebrating. You can still dream bigger, but you learn to enjoy what you already have. Every day you wake up, you have something to be grateful for. Breath in your lungs, strength in your body, hope in your heart. Gratitude attracts more blessings, because the more you appreciate, the more you position yourself to receive. Ungrateful people live in scarcity, no matter how much they have. Grateful people live in abundance, no matter how little they have. Gratitude is a choice. It's not about circumstances. It's about perspective. When life gets tough, gratitude is the anchor that keeps you steady. A grateful heart can't be bitter. Bitterness and gratitude can't live in the same space. Gratitude makes you humble. It reminds you that every good thing you have is a gift, not an entitlement. Gratitude is the doorway to joy. If you want to feel rich, count your blessings, not your money. The greatest riches are relationships and faith at the end of life. Nobody asks for their bank statement. They ask for their loved ones. They ask for peace with God. That tells you where true riches are. Relationships and faith are worth more than all the money in the world, because they follow you beyond this life. A person with millions but no love is still poor. But a person with little but surrounded by love is truly rich. Money can't wipe your tears when you're hurting. Faith and relationships can. When storms come, money might fix the outside, but relationships and faith hold you together on the inside. Faith gives you hope when everything else is falling apart. Relationships give you support when you don't have the strength to stand alone. Some of the wealthiest people in spirit are those who never had much in their wallet. They were rich in love, rich in kindness, rich in trust. Faith reminds you that no matter how much or how little you have, you are never truly alone. Relationships remind you that no matter how high you climb, you need people to celebrate with, to share with, to build with. The richest man is not the one with the most possessions. It's the one with the strongest bonds. If you lose money but keep your faith and your relationships, you can rebuild. But if you lose faith and love, all the money in the world can't replace it. A strong faith gives you courage. Strong relationships give you comfort. Together, they give you the richest life imaginable. People won't remember your net worth. They'll remember your kindness, your laughter, your faith, your love. Invest in your relationships. Invest in your faith. That's the kind of wealth that pays off in this life and the next. The greatest riches are not stored in banks. They are stored in hearts. And once you realize that, you'll understand what real wealth feels like. So hear me when I say this. I wish everybody was rich and famous so they knew this. I wish they could have it all for just a moment, so they'd finally realize it doesn't fill the soul. Money can't heal your wounds. Fame can't fix your heart. Mansions don't guarantee rest. Applause doesn't equal joy. Success without purpose will always feel empty. What truly matters is peace, character, gratitude, faith, and the people around you. That's the real wealth, because when the lights go off, when the crowd goes home, when the account balance changes, What you have left is who you are, what you've given, and who you loved. Don't wait until you reach the top to learn that lesson. Don't sacrifice your peace, your values, your relationships, and your soul for something that can't sustain you. Build yourself before you build your bank account. Grow your spirit before you chase a spotlight. Protect your heart before you chase applause. At the end of the day, nobody is going to care how rich you were. They will care how you made them feel, what you stood for, and what kind of legacy you left behind. So stop chasing what doesn't last and start building what does. Riches and fame are temporary, but purpose, faith, peace, and love, that's eternal. That's the treasure worth living for. And that, right there, is the truth I wish everybody knew. The end.